This podcast contains graphic content. Listener caution is recommended. Specifically, today's episode of Choosing the Bear contains themes and discussion of violence, abuse, rape, honour abuse, honour killings, and murder. It is episode 1 of Choosing the Bear, a true crime podcast. Lois, and my co-host is my brother.
Hello, my name's Daniel. I'm Lois's brother.
But also today is the 2nd of Jan.
Yes, it is.
New beginnings.
The newest beginnings. Do you have any New Year resolutions?
No, but I do want to make this year like, what's the word? Is it pivotal the right word?
Pivotal, vital.
What does pivotal mean?
I don't know, you got me on the spot now.
I want to make this like a good year, but like actually put the work in to make it good.
Pivotal works for that, I think. Yeah, I think that works.
Like I don't want to be like, oh my god, this is going to be my year, and then do nothing to make it be my year.
This would be like every single other person on the planet.
Because this year I'm going to be a healthy queen, a
New year, new
queen.
you. I'm the same, to be honest. I actually want to do something refreshing and new this year for me.
Yeah. Have you had a drink?
Yes, I just had myself a strawberry sensation smoothie, but obviously that's going to clog my throat up, so I do have a bottle of water next to me.
I have some orange squash in my wicked Galinda cup.
Galinda! Very nice.
Let us be glad. The case that I shall be presenting today is one that I had watched a documentary on ages ago, like literally years ago. And it's one that's always stuck with me, and one that's it's just really fucking sad.
Right, okay, I thought it was going to be quite a gory one or quite, psychologically challenged one, but we're going straight for sad.
Oh, well, Daniel, to be honest, I'd say it's kind of all of the above.
I mean, that's okay. All right, I'm excited because, like I said before we started recording, I like a bit of true crime. I enjoy a bit of like, ooh, why are people the way they are? Are they born evil? Are they made evil? Nature versus nurture, that sort of thing. Like, I find that all really fascinating, the brain works, but I don't know too deep into it all. Like I like your mainstream sort of true crime, but obviously I don't delve into it like you have, so this is quite...
And also, do you know what I've been thinking about the past few days? My pronunciation, is actual dog shit, so... But thankfully, because I've written this, I'll actually be able to pronounce the words.
You've written out, like, phonetically?
What do you mean, like word for word?
No, phonetically, like, so how the word sounds.
Oh, no, I mean, like, this is all in my own words, so, like...
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, got you.
Right, I fear we shall begin. Do you know what an honour killing is?
That was going to be my first question. I've got no clue what an honour killing is.
Well, lucky for you, I have a description.
Amazing.
An honour killing is when a family member or relative is killed for bringing perceived dishonour onto the family. It's most common for women to be murdered. However, there have been cases of male victims. Some of the so-called reasons to warrant an honour killing can be becoming too westernised, refusing to enter a forced marriage, sexuality, divorce, and being a victim of a sexual crime. So, love that.
That last one's bizarre.
I know. However, for me, I perceive the dishonour basically meaning that someone has lost their control over someone. And also for the small-minded people, honour killings are not limited to any religion. So before you start labelling religions with this, it doesn't apply.
Yeah, no, I think that's quite a good description, actually, being like someone who has control over someone and then losing that control drives them fucking mental and enough to kill someone. Am I in the right lines there?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, so say if, for example, a woman is becoming too westernised, family members or the family will kill her to then shake that dishonour that she brought onto the family, if that makes sense.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Banaz Mahmod was born on the 16th of December 1985 to Baya and Mahmud in, I don't know how you pronounce this actually, Qualadiza in Iraq.
Right.
Banaz was described as a, quote, very calm and quiet person and loved to see people happy. Banaz also had a brother and 4 sisters. The family sought asylum to the UK in 1995 when Banaz was 10 due to the dictatorship. Banaz's father, Mahmod, was the eldest of the brothers living in London. The role of head of the family was his younger brother, Ari Mahmod, as he was very wealthy. So he kind of had like the say-so in the fam.
The younger brother had the say-so.
Because he had more money.
Oh.
Or more wealth.
Right. Because you'd assume, like, the older one being the wiser. I mean, that's very generic, but the older one, you'd assume they would be more in power. But I guess in this instance, what was the age difference between them? Have you got that info?
I may.
Okay.
I might have their ages at the end, but I don't think I do.
Right. Well, we'll pinpoint that, and we'll come back to it at the end then, maybe.
But I don't think it was like a substantial amount. I don't think it was like 20
Right.
years, because in the pictures they both look the same age, ugly folk.
Right. Okay.
Also, I got a lot of like the interview, and I say it later, like in a quote. It's from the documentary that I watched. It's from Real Stories on YouTube. If you just search Banaz, I'm sure it will come up. But like, it's like a 45-minute documentary. It's really good, like informative, but obviously also very sad.
Meaty documentary.
It's very heavy.
Yeah.
So, in an interview, Bikal said, quote, "She wasn't allowed to have her nails done, pluck her eyebrows, or wear perfume. I was getting a lot of nasty beatings." Bikal was forced into an arranged marriage, which is where the family picks out a partner that they approve of and think is suitable for their child. But in the UK, a forced/arranged marriage is illegal and organisers can face up to 7 years in jail. So
7 years? I didn't know that. I didn't know it was actually fully illegal. I knew it was sort of like frowned upon, but illegal.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, but I think like there's also laws of like you're not allowed to take them, like you're not allowed to take someone abroad to get them married.
So then do it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it makes sense.
The law.
Yeah.
For a family member to disobey of the wished arranged marriage, it brings shame upon the family from members of their community. Threats of abuse or abuse can be made in order to pressure someone into the marriage, and for those who are under 18, it is considered a forced marriage even if threats or pressure aren't involved.
I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's very obvious.
But I mean, I just think that people should love and marry who they want to marry. But
it's one of them things where it's just, if you're a human being, you should be allowed to do what you want to do. Like the whole controlling and forced marriage thing, I don't get it, because why would you want to make somebody unhappy? Why would you want to give them, like say if we're talking about marriage, for example, why would you want to pair them up with someone that they could possibly potentially despise and hate? And that person being your own like flesh and blood, why would you want them to then go through that sort of thing?
I know, and it's just the tip of the iceberg of it. In 2002, the family wanted to shake off the dishonour that was casting a shadow on their family. So, Bikal's brother, because Bikal and Banaz have, was it 4 or 3 brothers? So one of Bikal's brothers had asked to meet her in a park, and her brother was carrying a suitcase and told Bikal to turn around and don't look at what he was doing. He then hit her over the head with a dumbbell and wrapped his arm around her neck, lifting her up off of the floor.
Hang on, this is in public?
Yes, in a fucking park.
Fuck me, okay.
And that's what I was going to say, yeah. This is just wild how this is happening in, like, a park. I mean, I don't know if it was, like, nighttime or daytime, but regardless, like, we're doing it in a very public place.
It's like an elaborated, thought-out attack with the suitcase and the dumbbell. Like, this is had thought behind it. They know this is intention.
Premeditated.
Yes, yeah, that's the word.
So Bikal began to fight back, was biting his arm and kicking him, and eventually he let go. And then Bikal was saying to him, "What are you doing? Look at what you're trying to do to me." And then Bikal's brother began to break down, saying, "I'm really sorry, but I have to put the shame to an end." And her brother then revealed that her father had paid him to kill Bikal.
Fucking hell.
And this was because she was becoming like too westernized, like not allowed to get your nails done and like wear perfume and stuff.
Branching out and sort of grafting her own sort of personality and doing things that experimenting with things that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then she goes and gets attacked with a dumbbell by her brother, who was paid
Yeah.
by her dad. For her own safety, Bakal did not press charges against her family and went into hiding. However, as Mahmod failed to control Bakal, his community viewed him as weak and began ostracizing him.
Oh my god.
I know. Bakal then went into hiding and never left her house without wearing a full veil and was constantly moving house and area. I mean, I feel like you could just never ever relax.
No, especially after that, no, God, though, because then you look at everyone completely different, and your life would then just be full of fear and intimidation by like you say, like painting your nails and stuff has then resulted in her being hit over the head with the dumbbell and her father paying her brother to kill her.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't want to do anything out of line again, which is absolutely fucking horrific. Fuck this, man.
I've just burped. Oh, God, Daniel, this is... oof. I mean... At the age of 17, Banaz was forced into a marriage with a man from Iraq who was 10 years older than her, and they'd only met each other once.
Yeah, I see what I'm saying is I can see their intention. I know why they're doing it, but for me, I'm like, I don't. Why would you want to go along with that? Why would you not just want to let people fucking live? Like, I mean, it boils it down. Obviously, it's very complicated and stuff, but to boil it down, I'm just being like, just let people live, man. Just let them do what they want to do. None of this sort of, we need to appease the community and stick in the guidelines of the community. So what makes this sort of shit work is the differences. Not just I'm preachy or anything like that on episode 1. But that's just sort of what it is, though, isn't it? If you boil
Live
it
and
down.
let live.
Live and let live.
That is literally what I live by, live and let live.
Oh.
Her husband moved them to Coventry in the West Midlands. 2 years later, Banaz left the marriage and moved back to Croydon in London. Throughout her marriage, she was subjected to regular beatings and rapes.
Right.
Banaz reported incidents to the police after she'd moved back home and described his mindset as something from, quote, 50 years prior. Banaz described an incident of abuse where her husband had, quote, twisted her hand really strongly so that one of the bones, it stands out from my other wrist, unquote. God. And in the documentary, you can see, like, you can see the video of her in, like, the police interview room. You can see her, like, pointing to, like, the bone in her wrist.
Christ, man, because that's like, it's not broken then. It's just been sort of mangled, essentially.
Banaz's husband justified his actions to her family by saying that Banaz was disrespectful and her family accepted this and sent her back to her husband. The police took no action against Banaz's husband or even began to investigate her claims. So she was essentially just talking to a brick wall.
Why would they not? I mean, that's a whole other conversation in itself, but why would they not do that?
I mean, I say it like a bit later about like the police handle, but like half of the like she went to the police like multiple times and they just didn't do anything.
Sick. Cool.
Not long after moving back, Banaz began dating someone called Ramat, someone her family hadn't approved of.
So she's still married at this point, did you say?
Yeah, yes.
She's still in the marriage, but then she's seeking out her own sort of thing.
Yeah, but I believe at this time she's not living with him.
Right.
Yeah, because not long after moving back. Mm-hmm. In messages, Banaz said that Ramat was, quote, the reason I am living today. They both had their life planned with how many children they would have and what they would call them. Banaz had to try and keep this Banaz had to try and keep this relationship secret. Dating a man that the parents hadn't approved of can bring shame upon the family from their community. However, members of the community began spotting Banaz and Ramat together. This was then reported back to Banaz's dad and uncle. So uncle being Ari and dad being Mahmod. Banaz's uncle Ari orchestrated a meeting, because obviously him being the leader of the fam.
Yeah.
Orchestrated a meeting with Banaz's father and extended family. It was then agreed that Banaz must be murdered. 2 days
Does this happen, does this happen often then? Like, they all get together and go, like, they're out of line, we just have to kill them. I mean, I guess that's where the term honor killing comes from, I guess, so it is.
I mean, yeah, but, like, the numbers for honor killings are, like, low because... I'm not saying like every family, but majority of families just end up kind of just taking the stance of like, well, they're gone now.
They're beyond help, sort of thing. They take that upon themselves to be like, forget it. We've done what we can. Well, let's just kill her.
And kind of like a lot of them go and report. Like there was another case of like a school. She was like in school. I think her name was Shafia Ahmed. I'm pretty sure that was her name. And like once she was murdered, like obviously her family who killed her didn't report her missing. It was like the school who basically was going to the police and all stuff like that to like try and get her. So like it's like once they die, it sounds really brutal, but like they're dead.
Yeah.
Like that's it then.
Yeah, no, I know the idea.
2 days after this meeting, Banaz went to the police saying that she overheard her uncle saying that he was going to kill her while on the phone to Banaz's mum.
Jesus.
On New Year's Eve, I'm not sure what year this was, to be honest. Oh, I think it might have been 2005 New Year's Eve. So 2005 going into 2006.
Yeah.
Banaz was lured to a relative's house under the pretense of discussing the divorce from her current husband. And obviously she's going to be like, get me there now, because
Yeah.
obviously like the circumstances and abuse that she's going through.
Things are changing for her, that she perceives anyway.
Yeah.
In a good way.
And then Banaz's dad then forced Banaz to drink alcohol and told her to stay fixated on the TV. Despite this, Banaz turned around and looked at her dad, who was wearing rubber gloves, and Banaz knew in that moment that her dad was going to try and kill her.
Shit.
So she fled when her dad left the room for a second, and she smashed a neighbour's window to try and get attention, but it didn't work. So then she like fled down the road and ended up in a cafe where police were called. And Banaz was telling them that like my dad has just tried to kill me and had forced me to drink alcohol. So Banaz is then taken to the hospital, and Rahmat, her boyfriend, meets her at the hospital, and he began, you can see this in the documentary as well, he began recording Banaz, who was explaining everything that had happened. However, the policewoman didn't believe her claims and thought Banaz was being melodramatic and had made up the story to try and justify how drunk she was.
That's insane.
The police officer also considered charging her with criminal damage for the smashed window.
Oh my God.
It's actually infuriating. It's like, why do we, not always, but not a lot of the time, just say to the woman, you're this, and we never look at the man and look at what the man is causing to cause the woman to react.
To behave that way. Yeah, absolutely. Like, she's run out. I mean, yeah, she might be drunk or whatever, but like, I don't know. I feel like you could see someone's like hystericalness and like fear because like she was about to be fucking murdered. You know, like that will leave an imprint on your face. Your expressions will be sort of in a state of shock and fear and just disbelief, I guess. And look, I'm no police officer, so I don't know, but I feel like you can read people quite clearly when they're in that sort of state. I don't know. I feel like that's insane that she just went, nah, you're drunk, you're just trying to make excuses.
And that's what I don't think as a police officer you should just jump to conclusions. Like,
absolutely
your job
not.
is to arrest, and in not just like arrest straight away, but at least investigate her claims to then come to a conclusion, not to just be like, oh no, she's just being a drama queen.
Yeah, like you say, like investigate it, look into it before, you know, you do something stupid and get it wrong, essentially.
If that police officer had reacted properly and differently, then this outcome could have been so much different.
Absolutely. It's that big question of like, what if this was done differently?
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the last texts Banaz sent to Rahmat was, quote, "I love you so much." On the morning of the 24th of January 2006, Rahmat reported Banaz missing after not hearing from her and was concerned for her well-being. The police then began to investigate and contacted Banaz's sister Bekal. Bekal informed them that she herself had faced death threats and also murder attempts from her family and community. Police then began investigating a letter that Banaz had previously given into the police station, detailing people who she'd heard would be involved in her murder. The men in the letter were Mohammed Hammer, Omar Hussein Muhammad Ali, who was Banaz's cousin. And in the documentary, it shows a picture of the letter. She has written it all out, and she has numbers circled, and then at the bottom she has codes of like the numbers correlating to the names of who. And this was what she handed in before she had gone missing.
So, I mean, it sounds like they were already had their minds made up about not believing her. She'd already gone in, gave them this, and then the incident happens with her dad, and they've already gone, nah, forget it. But it sounds like the police were just like, she's just a bit fucking dramatic. She needs to calm down.
It's just infuriating.
It's wild. Yeah, no, it's wild. It's actually insane because their job is there to protect and help, and then they've done the exact opposite of that.
And you can't just be like, you can't make assumptions. You can't.
No, man, especially not in that job.
Banaz's family claimed that Banaz was not a missing person and that she often stayed out overnight. Banaz's dad, uncle, and 2 cousins were arrested, but they didn't shed any light on the fate of Banaz. However, through phone and vehicle GPS tracking, police were brought to a house in Birmingham, and upon searching the house, the police noticed a disturbance in the ground of the back garden, and 6 feet down, Banaz's body was buried in a suitcase.
Oh my God.
This next paragraph is going to be like very graphic because it's from a recording of, I think, is it Ari? Oh no, Mohammed Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically one of the perpetrators describing what had happened, and it is horrendous, so a big pre-warn. So, on the morning of the 24th of January 2006, Banaz's parents left the family home, leaving Banaz in the living room and her younger sister upstairs. The suspects met up at Hammer's address and made their way over to Banaz. Banaz was raped, tortured, and was strangled to death with a wire. This lasted for around 2 hours.
Shit.
In an undercover recording, Mohammed Hammer described the attack Banaz was subjected to. And again, I've put, this is a long quote and graphic, so yeah, this is horrific. So quote.
So hang on, what do you mean? Wait. Like an undercover recording that she was... What does that mean?
No, it's not an undercover recording of the attack. It's an undercover recording of one of the perpetrators describing what happened to her.
Right. Oh, I'm with you. Okay.
So like, what's it called? Like recalling it.
Yeah, like a witness account.
Yeah, but
sort of thing.
He didn't know he was being recorded.
Yeah.
So, quote, "They were slapping her, fucking her. I fucked her anally. The bitch's soul was not getting discharged. With anything, it took more than half an hour." And then younger sister, but the name's redacted, was upstairs as well. "I swear to God, I didn't know she was there, fucker. Ari the bastard lied to us. Ari said there was no one there. I put my leg there, on her back, Mohammed on her neck. He made the cord like a hook. I held her hand and said, put it around quickly, and when she heard that, she was terrified. He immediately put the cord around her neck. She was vomiting. While he put the wire around her neck, he gave it to me. Then I was holding the cord so tight and stamping on her neck as well. When I stamped on the back of her neck, her mouth and nose were on the floor, and that was in the suitcase. I was saying, let her soul be discharged. I was kicking her head. The soul would not be discharged that easy. The wire around her neck, it went deep through the skin. Her soul was not being discharged. Because we were able to tighten it further, he tightened it around her neck, and it didn't take more than 45 minutes, and her soul was discharged, and she didn't make a sound." So all of that is absolutely horrific, and also the wording of her soul wouldn't be discharged.
Yeah, no, that was what I was going to ask about. So what does that mean? What's he implying there?
So like her dying.
Discharge being death.
Like her, yeah.
So when he's doing this sort of shit, saying her soul will not be discharged, he's meaning like she's not dead yet, or you're not going to die yet. We're going to choose when you die.
So like her soul will not be discharged, like basically meaning when she dies, or like her soul is discharged when she died.
With you, got you. Okay. Oh my fucking, like that genuinely, like I don't get sort of squeamish or anything like that normally, but I don't know, just hearing that, and I guess in the setting that we're in as well, where we're dedicating this to the graphic facts, I guess. How the fuck do people do that? How do human beings manage to do, especially as well, because sort of, I'm assuming they were family as well, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, it was like her uncle
Extended.
and her cousins.
Yeah. Like that's absolutely fucking horrific.
And how he said it didn't take more than 45 minutes, it didn't take more than 5 seconds, but 45 minutes.
If you break that down, that's a really fucking long time.
And like the whole thing lasted for around 2 hours.
Yeah, that is genuinely like. Right, so what happened to them then?
So Banaz's 2 cousins involved in her murder fled to Iraq, and no one had ever been extradited back to the UK from Iraq before this case.
Oh.
After 3 years, they were brought back to the UK and were trialled for Banaz's murder. They received 22 and 21 years. Banaz's father and uncle were charged with 23 and 20 years for arranging and participating in her murder. So fuck all! And this was in I'm not sure what year they were charged, but they committed the crime in 2006.
Yeah.
So what's 2006 add 22? 2006,
2028.
And probably knowing our justice system, I wouldn't be surprised if they're already out.
Well, this is what I don't get, right? When people say life is 25 years, well, it's not though, is it?
No, and even that pisses me off because
it's something that I just don't understand. If you have criminals out there doing these horrific, fucking heinous acts, why are we giving them like a limited time in jail? Fucking just throw them away and keep them there. But
and
I
also,
don't think we should be allowing them out.
If you're lucky enough to live to 100, that's a quarter. I don't want to say it's only a quarter because that is a big chunk of your life, but then it's not a big chunk of your life compared to someone who you fucking killed.
Yeah, but then you got 3/4 still to live, you know.
It just gets worse.
Oh my god, how?
No. So Rahmat, Banaz's boyfriend, went into witness protection after Banaz's murder, but he still testified in the trials of Banaz's killers along with her sister Bakal. Rahmat said, quote, "My life went away when Banaz died. There is no life. My life depended on her. She was the best thing that ever happened to me."
Jesus Christ.
Police were called to Rahmat's flat after he'd sent a text to his neighbour saying that he was going to kill himself and asked the police to come and collect his dog. When police arrived, he was found hanging and was taken to hospital. Rahmat was in a coma for 5 days before he died.
Oh man, that's.
Oh god, I can't. Seriously, I really, start crying.
No, it's really not fucking good. That's awful.
In April 2008, the Independent Police Complaints Commission published a report about how the police had handled Banaz's previous and multiple reports of threats to her life and well-being. This report found that Banaz had been let down by the police and that the death threats hadn't been taken seriously. I mean, you don't need a fucking investigation to prove that.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that, I haven't really gone into too much detail, but the leading investigator who got Banaz justice, basically, her name was Caroline Good, I think, or Good. It's Goode. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Sounds like Good. If it's got an alien, I think it's Good.
And she fought hard to get them back to the UK. For example, it took 3 years to get them back because I believe that it was obviously really hard to track them down and to actually get them to the UK.
Who she should have found first.
Yes.
Annoyingly, she wasn't there when she first appeared.
Yes.
At the station.
Yes. And then the final sentence. In a documentary, Bakal said, quote, "Safety is something I dream of, something I am really, really longing for." Oh
God, it really is. I mean, I know you said at the start it's going to be a sad one. I was like, yeah, okay. It is just really, just morbid, to be honest. Yeah. It's not a life then. Your entire life is fear.
Yeah, and she's still in hiding now, Bakal is.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I can imagine so. She's got her life, but then what sort of life is it, you know?
Yeah.
Constantly living in fear of and trauma and sadness and grievance and all these other things that come with all this.
Yep. It's just it's obviously more than bleak, but it's just fucking hard.
Sometimes there's no proper words to actually articulate how heavy a situation can be.
Yeah, this is one case that has always stuck with me because I'm she just wanted to live.
And it's wild, yeah, because like, again, the whole purpose of this is sort of like to educate, and obviously I'm being educated. I had no idea about any of this.
Yeah, it's very like I feel like you wouldn't hear about it unless you were looking to hear about it.
Yeah, it didn't crack the mainstream like Ted Bundy and all those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, horrible.
yeah, it's fucking horrendous, and I hope all them motherfuckers,
Rot.
yep, die.
Absolute scum of the earth.
So that's our first case. We're at 37 minutos,
There we go.
and there's also in pop culture. Is this pop culture? I haven't watched it, but there is a like mini docu-series. I think it might be like 2 or 3 episodes on ITV. It's called Honor, and it's just like a not documentary. It's like a what's it called where you like recreate it, a reconstruction.
Yeah, like a docudrama.
Yes. And it's on ITV and Netflix. I do need to watch it, but now that I finished the MCU, I may be able to do that.
Of course. Plenty of time now. You've got nothing major to watch.
Okay, so that's the first one completo.
That's all from us today. Thank you all for listening. It's been a
Thank you for
fun time.
listening.
Well, not a fun time. I keep saying fun time, but it's not a fun time.
No, but it's nice and good in a way to let Banaz's story be known, because it's known, but it isn't.
It's an educational
known.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like honor killings need to be more well known. Like the seriousness of threats need to be taken more seriously.
That's why they're called threats, like they're the prelude to doing something.
Yeah. Especially multiple times. Like she went to the police multiple times. It's just, I hope you tune in for episode 2.
Please do.
I don't know what one I'm going to pick, but we're going to go film it right now, so.
Yeah. Back-to-back filmings today.
Get this show on the road!
Bye-bye!